In difficult times like these, I think it's important for supporters of Israel and the Jews to try to reach out and find common ground with Satan. And sure, I know that Satan's on a mission to poison the heart of humankind until we devolve into a frenzied, demonic orgy of blood-mad butchery and self-destruction, but he's not all bad. I guess, actually, he is all bad. That's kind of his brand, isn't it? But still, those of us in a state of humble repentance, struggling toward the light of God, and those in a state of demonic butchery and self-destruction should try to forge a two-state solution so that some people can continue in useful work and uncertain decency while others murder them en masse. After all, didn't Jesus say, if a man should come into your home and slaughter your children and rape your women over your dead body, you should declare a ceasefire to give him time to celebrate his vicious enormity so he can make plans to do even worse? Okay, maybe those weren't Jesus' exact words, but I'm sure he would have said that if he'd thought of it, because if there's one thing we know about Jesus, it's that he was a really, really nice guy. So we should try to understand when someone like Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib voices thinly veiled support for the massacre of innocents, even though we may find her ideas difficult to understand, because while she was speaking, the blood of martyred children gushed out of her mouth between her fangs, while she transformed before our eyes into a gigantic pterodactyl-like creature and spiraled briefly up toward the heavens before being flung by all that's holy down into the deepest pit of hell, thus garbling her words and making them difficult to understand. And when literally dozens of student organizations at a Harvard University blame Israel for Hamas's brutal massacre of Israelis, shouldn't we take a moment to marvel at the creativity and industry of a prince of darkness who doesn't just reduce your children's souls to smoldering piles of crap, but actually charges you $55,000 a year in tuition to do it? And when LGBTQ plus activists express their support for Palestinian terrorists who would happily slice gay people into jerky before devouring them, shouldn't we be thankful that now we finally know that the plus stands for morons? And when people admired by some on the right, like Nicholas Fuentes and Andrew Tate, agree with, make excuses for, or soft soap ravening satanic evil, can't we at least pause to celebrate the fact that the far right and the left have finally come together in ravening satanic evil? So by now, some of you are probably thinking, yes, I see what you're saying. How can I break free of this small-minded obsession with desperately trying to preserve even the smallest flickering spark of human decency within myself, and instead begin to develop a stronger working relationship with the denizens of the lightless pit of eternal death in which all moral sensibility turns to ashes? After all, if we don't sit down at the negotiating table, and they don't set the table on fire, spray the room with machine gun bullets, torture the women and children, and declare worldwide warfare against anyone who dares to oppose them, how can we ever begin to reach that middle ground between man's little island of faltering righteousness and Satan's nearly infinite realm of utter evil, a middle ground which obviously is geographically located in the midst of utter evil? Well, you'll be glad to hear that you don't need a Harvard education to become drenched in the blood of innocence, well, though apparently it helps. Even if you have an IQ no higher than Washington Post columnist Karen Adia, you can begin to open your mind to the exciting possibilities of savage and unrepentant wickedness. All you need to get started are two simple words: yes, but. That's right. If you can look upon what, after all, is only the latest atrocity in the millennia-long war of the fallen human soul against the authors of God's Bible, and say just those two words, yes, but, you are well on your way to finding common ground with absolute evil in the place where absolute evil ultimately has its ground. Enjoy your stay there, your endless stay. For more Klavan-y magnificence, like and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcast.